Up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, presented by the Business Courier. Cincinnati's first suburb and home to President William Howard Taft is about to get a makeover. Have an idea to improve health care? Well, we may have a funding source for you. And reservations encouraged at a new OTR dining spot. U.S. Bank Business Watch is next. Good morning and welcome to U.S. Bank Business Watch. I'm Peg Rasconi. On the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, another Cincinnati neighborhood is on the rise. Despite its grand old homes, stunning city views, and being the birthplace of a president, Mount Auburn is among the city's most blighted neighborhoods. But now, here comes Mount Auburn. There are some big plans in place for the neighborhood. The president of Uptown Rental Properties and Partners, including North American Properties, are looking to bring $80 million in Class A apartments and office space to Mount Auburn. The focus area is along Auburn Avenue, the spine of the neighborhood, from Christ Hospital to East McMillan Street.
Mount Auburn is critically located between Uptown and Downtown. And if you're truly going to connect Uptown, where the university is located, and downtown in the OTR section, you really have to go through Mount Auburn.
Schimberg's focus includes the revitalization of 20-acre Inwood Park 2 miles from downtown. He's asked the Cincinnati Parks Board for help to revitalize it. Schimberg's other 3 focus projects include a large medical office development, renovation of an existing apartment building, and several new apartment buildings with about 200 units. Schimberg says the projects will take 5 to 7 years, and his goal is to make Mount Auburn a mixed-use community. Read more about the plans in the print edition. Ground is broken in the Cincinnati neighborhood of Avondale on 8 new market-rate townhomes. Now, that may seem like a modest number, but it is a huge step, according to community leaders in that struggling city neighborhood. The 1,400-square-foot homes on Northern Avenue will sell for about $175,000. This is the first new construction in Avondale since the 1990s. North Point Group and John Huber Homes will develop the $2.4 million project, which is getting financing from the Uptown Consortium, the Cincinnati Development Fund, and Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. The president and CEO of one of the top 5 residential mortgage lenders in the tri-state says local home sales have improved, but still have a long way to go. Jack Henkel of Victory Community Bank says new restrictive bank regulations have eliminated some home buying products for consumers.
That's not to say we're not still doing business. We've still have FHA lending, which is 3.5% down. You can get that gifted from your parents. And the credit score can go below 680 down to the 620 range. And we're approving those type of loans every day of the week.
Kenkel says refinance has basically stopped once rates rose in the first quarter of 2013. The good news is rates have dropped below 4% on a 30-year loan or 30-year fixed loan in the last 2 weeks. A former U.S. Navy SEAL is directing PNC Bank's local wealth management team. John Sanchez learned plenty from his pressure-packed role as a SEAL in the Middle East. He spent 10 years in the military after graduating from the U.S. Naval Academy with an economics degree.
Lessons learned or maybe character traits developed in the SEAL teams or in the military overall would be having a sense of resiliency, having a sense of organization and discipline. Certainly I think work ethic's a big part of it, and really having a really driving desire to win.
The wealth team at PNC works with high net worth individuals with at least $1 million in assets. Sanchez also serves as PNC's national spokesman for reintegrating military veterans into the workforce. If you have an idea that could transform healthcare in Greater Cincinnati, you need to meet Jill Miller. Miller is the first executive director of Bethesda, Inc. The nonprofit group has begun a competitive process that could lead to 2 or more grants over the course of several years.
We are embarking on a new grant-making process, competitive process, where we will award multi-year, multi-million-dollar grants that are focused on transforming healthcare delivery in our region.
Miller says the group has the ability to invest more than $5 million. She previously served as executive director of the Joey Votto Foundation, which the Reds' first baseman recently ended. Well, more good news for startup Assurex Health. CEO Gina Droso says the fast-growing Mason firm is planning to build a new headquarters because it expects to double its workforce to about 460 employees within 2 years. The Assurex team is working with architects and developers on designs and cost estimates. A decision on where to locate the new headquarters could be made before the end of this year. Huntington National Bank is relocating its regional headquarters downtown, signing a 13-year lease for about 50,000 square feet of space on Vine Street. The 23-story building near Fountain Square will be renamed Huntington Center at 525 Vine, and the bank's name will be installed across the top of the tower. Kevin Jones, Huntington Bank's local market president, said the move gives the bank a better presence. It is currently located in the Rookwood Tower in Norwood. Huntington is the fourth largest bank in the region. Another new restaurant is now open in Over the Rhine. The Mercer is a 100-seat Italian and European-themed restaurant on the ground floor of the apartment complex Mercer Commons on Vine Street.
Certainly we love the pastas. I'd say the braised short ribs, the risotto, and probably our signature dish, which is a porterhouse steak for two.
Zipperstein also co-owns Kaze at 14th and Vine. The Mercer is billing itself as more refined and sophisticated than other OTR restaurants, offering valet parking and reservations. Did you get your bottle of Pappy Van Winkle bourbon at the Party Source in Newport? Well, if not, better luck next year. The Party Source sold out of its annual delivery from Old Rip Van Winkle Distillery, maker of Pappy Van Winkle bourbon, within an hour of opening its doors. People camped out overnight to get one of their bottles. The distillery ages Pappy bourbon for a minimum of 15 years and only produces 7,000 cases. That's 84,000 bottles. Now, for context, Jim Beam makes 84 million bottles in the same time period. You don't have to travel too far to get some of the best food in Kentucky. German-themed restaurant Wunderbar, or Wunderbar, if you'd say it that way, located on Lee Street in Covington, has been given high praise from the website movoto.com. It says the restaurant will blow the taste buds out of your mouth. It raves about the giant pretzels, the vast amount of sausage and beer, and the live music. Sounds like it'll also blow your diet. A Cincinnati brewed India Pale Ale has been named one of the top 100 beers in the world by lifestyle magazine Men's Journal. The magazine named Rheingeist Truth to the list, which was compiled and judged by 12 beer writers and brewmasters from across the country. Judges took into account quality control, innovation, and major awards at the Great American Beer Fest and World Beer Cup when making the list. The judges limited the list to beers that could be found on store shelves and taps outside of the brewery and excluded one-offs and limited editions. Well, up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, the latest on changes at the Cincinnati Enquirer continue to draw readers to the Business Courier website. And look what local company made Oprah's list of favorite things. Some news now that's getting a lot of attention on the Business Courier website and social media sites. Big interest in changes at the Cincinnati Enquirer. As we told you last week, a long list of staffers are opting not to reapply for jobs as the region's largest media organization embarks on major changes. The latest names include longtime writers John Kieswetter, a 30-year veteran, and Cliff Radel, a nearly 40-year veteran. Other recent departures include columnists Krista Ramsey and Josh Pickler. Well, this is what it looked like before, and lots of people are checking out the Business Courier site to see what it looks like now. It's the Joint and Spine Center being constructed as part of a $280 million expansion at Christ Hospital. It's 85% complete, and the Business Courier got a tour. Take a look by visiting CincinnatiBusinessCourier.com. A new plan appears to put to rest a year of hand-wringing over how the city will cover the estimated $4 million operating cost for the streetcar. Under a plan from Councilman Kevin Flynn, the streetcar's operations could be funded by increased parking meter rates and a reduction in tax abatements claimed by property owners in downtown and over the Rhine. The streetcar is expected to open in September of 2016. Well, how about a beach at Smale Riverfront Park? The park's great lawn will slope down right to the river, and in a recent progress report, the project manager is talking about adding a beach along the Ohio River. Chicago and Milwaukee have urban beaches, so some are wondering, why not Cincinnati? Stay tuned. Covington-based Donna Salyer's Fabulous Furs is on Oprah Winfrey's annual list of favorite things right in time for the holidays. For the cover of the December issue of O Magazine, Oprah dons a $500 white faux fur hooded coat from the store. The issue presents 72 of Oprah's favorite things, and her fans typically rush out to buy them. With the holidays approaching, it's easy to neglect some important tasks on our to-do list. Well, one thing you should not neglect during all the hustle and bustle is your investment portfolio. In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, U.S. Bank Vice President Mike Denneman is here to talk about why rebalancing at year-end can be a wise move. He's with Business Courier Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio. Rob and Mike.
Thank you very much, Peg. Mike, thanks for being here.
Good morning.
So first of all, tell us what rebalancing means. I hate to be that simple, but I'm a simple guy, so tell me what that means.
Sure. Well, in a nutshell, what we're talking about here is what we call asset allocation, or how your investment portfolio is divided between different types of assets, such and such a percentage to stocks, such and such a percentage to bonds, and so on. So it's important to have a target in mind, a goal, so that you're not just out there investing randomly. But what you can find is the market moves. Some assets go up, some assets go down, and if you're not keeping a close eye on it, pretty soon you can find that your portfolio has migrated away from what your targets originally were. So rebalancing is simply going in periodically, looking at where your percentages are, and if they've moved, just doing some simple readjustment to bring them back closer to your target.
But this year has been really volatile, and so I mean, how do you balance something or rebalance something when the market isn't even standing still very often?
Sure, and that's a prime reason that you would want to rebalance. So, this isn't something you should look to do every day or every other week, but to do it periodically, once a quarter, sometimes even once a year is sufficient, especially, as you say, with as volatile a market as we've had. And not just the volatility, but the fact that such differential performance in the different investing markets. So, for instance, U.S. stocks have had another great year. They're up about 10%. Even better are real estate investment trusts, which have gained about 20%. But then on the other hand, you've got assets such as international stocks, commodities, including gold, which are in fact in negative territory. So if you've got a blend of those assets in your portfolio, it's a pretty good bet that you've moved away from your target. So rebalancing does make sense. And then there's an added benefit that as you rebalance, you are more often than not selling assets that have gone up in value, and you're buying assets that have gone down in value. So it's almost forced selling high and buying low.
Which is great, but is there a catch? I mean, is there something to be sort of, have any alarms going off for next year?
There's always a catch. One thing, and this seems fundamental, but it gets overlooked a lot, and that is to make sure that target that you're rebalancing to is in fact the right target.
Right.
So maybe several years ago, having a portfolio that was invested primarily in stocks made a lot of sense for you. But what's gone on in that time frame? Maybe now you're closer to retirement. Maybe you're paying college tuitions. So as your financial needs evolve, it's important that your targets evolve as well. So make sure you know what you're rebalancing to. And then, of course, there's always taxes. Now, if you've got a 401k or an IRA, because these are non-taxable type accounts, you can rebalance those without any consequences. But any other investment, rebalancing generally involves capital gains. So it's just important to know where you are from a tax status so that as you're making your readjustments, you don't find yourself with a larger than expected bill coming next April.
And this does seem like a great time to do it. Just things do slow down a bit at this time of the year, and it feels like it's always a good time maybe to recheck your portfolio. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Peg, back to you.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. And still to come on U.S. Bank Business Watch, the holiday theme continues as locally owned businesses gear up for Buy Cincy weekend. How can you show your support and get some good deals? And congratulations to Jill Dunn, Director of Marketing and Communications at the Cincinnati Art Museum, another of our 40 Under 40 honorees. In this morning's Business Insight, starting Friday, about 100 businesses in 17 neighborhoods will participate in the 8th annual Buy Cincy holiday event. Shoppers are encouraged to support locally owned independent businesses in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky before choosing to spend their money at big box stores and chains, especially for the holidays. Last year's event resulted in an estimated $58,000 economic impact for the region. Katie Garber is the creative director for CINBA, the Greater Cincinnati Independent Business Alliance, which is presenting Buy Cincy from November 21st to 23rd. Katie joins Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio with more on Buy Cincy. Ladies.
Thanks, Peg. Katie, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. So Katie and I go way back. Katie had Atomic Number 10 on Main Street, one of the original pioneers. Maybe I shouldn't say it's original. One of the latest pioneers in Over the Rhine. Had your own business there for a long time. So this is really speaks to your heart, this event. So now you're with CINBA. Tell me a little bit, first of all, about CINBA.
So CINBA is the Greater Cincinnati Independent Business Alliance, and it's kind of like a chamber of commerce, but only for locally owned independent businesses. So our branch of Buy Cincy is all about promoting to the general public to shop local at their independent stores, restaurants, bars, galleries, studios. And then we also are doing some events and workshops for small business owners to help them improve marketing, and those will be kicking off more at the beginning of the year. And then we're also trying to get into helping to brand neighborhoods. So Oakley is our first neighborhood that we're working with to help brand and increase their awareness in Cincinnati, and then also hopefully get into creating some events for them and helping them spread their awareness in the region.
Great. Yeah. And we do have so many neighborhood business districts. Tell me who's participating in the event this weekend. So it's Friday through Sunday.
Yes.
Tell me the neighborhoods. I know there's about 100 businesses. We can't name all of those, of course, but what are the neighborhoods? And is it bars and restaurants as well as shops?
Yes. Some bars and restaurants, some art galleries, some yoga studios, some even more like community center places. We've got one in Northside that will be joining us. So anyone that's locally owned and wants to kind of just share their message with the greater Cincinnati population that's going to be shopping.
So neighborhoods, Northside, like Northern Kentucky, like Bellevue, is that?
Bellevue, Covington, Newport. We've got Price Hill, Oakley, Madeira is a new one for us that we haven't included last year. Yes, College Hill, they've been included with. It was Cincinnati Unchained, this event, prior to now, so they've been included for a long time.
What are we as consumers supposed to do this weekend? So on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, tell us what we should do to support you guys.
Right, so you can go to our website, and that'll have all the businesses listed on our map feature. We will also have a page that lists all the businesses that will be having a special incentive for the day. But everyone that's included has donated some sort of product or gift certificate, and those will be raffled off throughout the weekend. So if you're out at a shop, any of the participating businesses, you can use a hashtag Buy Cincy.
Okay.
You can post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can also fill out a small raffle ticket that'll be at each of the participating businesses, and you can be entered to win all these great gift certificates and products. So we'll have, right now we've got at least $4,000 worth of gift certificates we'll be giving away of great businesses.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we'll know that the businesses are participating because they'll have something up in the store?
Yes, they will have our posters. They will have the raffle tickets in there. We'll also be having stickers at all the shops. And something new we're doing this year is printed maps, and those connect. We have 14 different neighborhoods on the maps. So those are people that signed up a little bit earlier to be included on that. But it's a great fold-out that shows all the neighborhoods and how they lay out throughout the region, and then the businesses all along that map. So that's kind of a tool that we want to encourage people not to just visit this weekend, but also go out throughout the whole holiday season and support all these local businesses.
And it's kind of seems an obvious answer, but tell us why this is so important. I mean, we on this show like to promote a lot of these events. Why is it so important to the small businesses for all of us to come out?
Yeah, I think personally, I know from having my own small business, like that was my livelihood. That's all I had to support myself and my income, and then also to employ interns. So not only did it like support my livelihood, but also I used locally owned printers, and I used like I would buy my food at locally owned businesses. So that is a huge impact that when you support local, it's 3 times more likely your money will stay in the local economy than when you shop at a chain store.
Yes. And once again, the website is buycincy.com, and then the hashtag is buycincy.
Yes.
So this is Friday through Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday through Sunday.
Yes.
Get out, promote it. Thanks so much, Katie, for being here, and lots of success. We hope this goes well, and let us know.
Yes.
We'd be happy to report back on it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Katie, thank you. Peg, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly and Katie. Starting Friday, Buy Cincy. Thank you this morning for joining us for U.S. Bank Business Watch. We'll be back next Sunday and every Sunday morning at 6:30 here on Local 12 and 10 a.m. on the CW. For more business news all week long, you can visit the Business Courier online and sign up for daily emails and follow on Twitter and Facebook. The address is CincinnatiBusinessCourier.com. I'm Peg Rasconi. Have a great Sunday.